Welcome to Fame and History. If you're into epic stories and legendary figures, you're in the right place. Smash that subscribe button and drop a like so you don't miss a thing. Let's make history together.
Billy the Kid. One of the most infamous gunslingers of the Old West, Billy the Kid became a legend by age 21. He was involved in the bloody Lincoln County War, which solidified his ruthless reputation. They say he killed 21 men, one for each year of his life. His death at the hands of Pat Garrett in 1881 only fueled the myth, and to this day, his story remains one of the most captivating of the Old West. Wyatt Earp. Wyatt Earp became a legendary figure after the infamous gunfight at the OK Corral. A tough lawman caught in the deadly Earp-Clanton feud, he played a pivotal role in bringing justice to the Wild West. Despite facing criticism and controversy throughout his life, his death in 1929 only solidified his place in history, leaving a legacy as one of the West's most enduring symbols of law and order. Annie Oakley. Annie Oakley became a global sensation as a sharpshooter in Buffalo Bill's Wild West show. Famous for her unmatched skill, she once split a playing card edge-on with a bullet and outshot European royalty. She challenged stereotypes of women in the West, proving strength and precision had no gender. Her death in 1926 ended an era, but her story inspires and fascinates to this day. Calamity Jane. Calamity Jane, known for her rough demeanor and sharpshooting skills, was a frontier legend. She claimed to have scouted for the military and fought alongside Wild Bill Hickok in Deadwood. Despite her wild reputation, she was also known for her kindness and care for the sick. Her death in 1903 marked the end of a life as bold and untamed as the Old West she embodied. Bat Masterson. Bat Masterson was a lawman, gambler, and writer who played a key role in the Wild West. Known for his sharp wit and steady aim, he kept order in towns like Dodge City, alongside Wyatt Earp. Later, he became a celebrated journalist in New York, chronicling the West's untamed days. Masterson's death in 1921 closed the book on a life that bridged the rugged frontier and modern America. Belle Starr. Belle Starr, known as the Bandit Queen, was an infamous outlaw and leader in the Wild West. She was involved in cattle rustling and was associated with several notorious criminals, including the James Younger gang. Despite her criminal activities, Starr became a folk hero. Her murder in 1889 remains unsolved, and her life continues to captivate as a symbol of the rebellious spirit of the frontier. Black Bart. Black Bart was a notorious stagecoach robber who became a legend in the Wild West. Operating in Northern California, he robbed several stagecoaches while leaving behind poetic messages for lawmen. Despite his careful planning, Black Bart was eventually caught in 1883. Known for his elusive nature and clever tactics, he remains one of the most intriguing figures of Western criminal folklore. Buffalo Bill Cody. Buffalo Bill Cody was a showman who turned the Wild West into a global spectacle. Starting as a scout and buffalo hunter, he gained fame for his larger-than-life persona. His Wild West show, featuring sharpshooters like Annie Oakley, thrilled audiences worldwide. Cody's 1917 death marked the end of an era, but his legacy endures as the man who brought the frontier's spirit to the world stage. Butch Cassidy. Butch Cassidy, leader of the Wild Bunch, was a charming outlaw known for robbing banks and trains across the West. With his partner, the Sundance Kid, he evaded capture through clever tactics and daring escapes. Their exploits became legendary. Butch's life ended in Bolivia in 1908, or so it's believed, leaving behind a legacy of adventure and a hint of mystery that still intrigues today. Doc Holliday. Doc Holliday was a skilled gunslinger and dentist, known for his fierce friendship with Wyatt Earp. He fought in the iconic gunfight at the OK Corral, showing unmatched accuracy despite his battle with tuberculosis. His death in 1887, after years of hardship, cemented his legacy. To this day, Doc remains a symbol of loyalty, toughness, and the wild, unpredictable nature of the Old West. Frank James. Frank James, older brother of Jesse James, was a key member of the James Younger Gang. Known for his involvement in robberies and violent crimes, Frank became notorious in the Wild West. Unlike his brother, Frank eventually surrendered and spent years in prison, later gaining a measure of public sympathy. His life remains a blend of criminal notoriety and redemption in the frontier mythos. George Armstrong Custer was a U.S. Army officer, known for his dramatic and controversial life. His fame soared after the Battle of Little Bighorn in 1876, where he and his men were wiped out by a coalition of Native American tribes. Custer's boldness and tragic end turned him into a legendary figure, symbolizing both the military ambition and the tragic consequences of the Indian Wars. Geronimo, an Apache leader, became a legendary figure in the Wild West for his unyielding resistance. Known for daring raids and miraculous escapes, he defied U.S. and Mexican forces to protect his people's land. His surrender in 1886 marked the end of Apache resistance. Though he died in 1909, Geronimo's name remains synonymous with courage and the fight for freedom in the Old West. Jesse James. Jesse James was a notorious outlaw who led the infamous James Younger Gang. Known for daring bank and train robberies, he became a folk hero to some, seen as a rebel against big institutions after the Civil War. His life was marked by violence and betrayal, ending in 1882 when he was shot by Robert Ford. Jesse's legacy endures, blending myth and reality as one of the Old West's most infamous figures. John Wesley Hardin. John Wesley Hardin was one of the most infamous gunfighters of the Old West, known for his violent temper and deadly accuracy. He claimed to have killed 27 men, though the true number is uncertain. Hardin's criminal career spanned several states, and he was eventually gunned down in 1895. His legacy remains tied to his ruthless nature and his role in the chaotic frontier era. Josephine Marcus. Josephine Marcus was an actress and the wife of legendary lawman Wyatt Earp. She moved west in search of a better life, where she met Earp during the tumultuous events of Tombstone. Their partnership became one of the most famous in Old West history. After Wyatt's death, Josephine lived a long life, recounting her experiences and becoming a key figure in Earp's enduring legacy. Judge Roy Bean. Known as the Law West of the Pecos, Judge Roy Bean was an eccentric and often controversial justice of the peace in the Old West. Operating out of a saloon in Langtree, Texas, he dispensed his own brand of justice, sometimes based on his personal whims. His unconventional methods and colorful personality made him a notorious figure in frontier history, both feared and admired. Kit Carson. Kit Carson was a legendary frontiersman, scout, and soldier, known for his role in exploring and settling the American West. He served as a guide during the Mexican-American War and the Indian Wars, earning a reputation for his bravery and skill. His exploits made him a figure of myth and history. Carson's legacy endures as a symbol of the rugged spirit of the Old West. Ned Buntline. Ned Buntline was a writer and adventurer who helped shape the mythology of the Old West. Known for creating the legendary figure of Buffalo Bill Cody in his stories, he also produced dramatic tales of frontier life. Buntline's influence in popularizing Western folklore made him a key figure in immortalizing the Wild West's larger-than-life characters and daring exploits in print. Pearl Hart. Pearl Hart was one of the few women to become notorious in the Wild West. Known for her daring stagecoach robbery in Arizona in 1899, she became a symbol of rebellion against the law. After her arrest and trial, she gained widespread attention. Though she was eventually released, her story as a bold and fearless outlaw continues to captivate the imagination of Wild West enthusiasts. Quanah Parker. Quanah Parker was a prominent Comanche leader and the last chief of the Comanche Nation. Born to a Comanche chief and a captive white woman, he became a fierce warrior and strategist. After the Comanche surrender in 1875, Parker embraced change and worked to preserve his people's culture. He became a successful businessman and influential figure in both Native American and American circles. Sitting Bull. Sitting Bull, a Hunkpapa Lakota leader, became a symbol of Native resistance in the Wild West. He united tribes against U.S. expansion and led his warriors to victory at the Battle of Little Bighorn in 1876. Later, he toured with Buffalo Bill's Wild West show, sharing his culture with the world. His death in 1890 marked the end of an era, but his legacy of bravery and leadership endures. Sundance Kid. Sundance Kid, partner of Butch Cassidy in the Wild Bunch, was famed for his sharpshooting and cool demeanor. Known for bold train and bank heists, he was both feared and admired. His story ended in Bolivia in 1908, or so it said, alongside Cassidy. Whether outlaw or legend, Sundance remains a symbol of the Wild West's daring and mystery, captivating imaginations to this day.